Is that better? That's nice, right? What do you need?
It's not working.
Oh. Technical difficulties?
You're live according to this?
Yeah, he's live. Facebook on the. That's. Should I go to the support page and do it then?
No, you know what? Just take it off of Wi-Fi.
We don't want everybody to.
That's why.
Oh, well, that's live. Should I finish it?
No, it's good.
My mommy likes I know, mine did too.
Just try it. It should work.
When I was really trying.
All right. What's up, everybody? Guys, first of all, this is really cool. Like, hey, everybody smile. Ah! Hello. Say hi, everybody. Say hi. Ah! And then you got the ugly guy up front. Hi. Is that straight? Cool. I was going to say, kind of needs to be tightened a little bit, I think. Cool.
We're goody.
All right. So, guys, we're all here because I hoaxed you.
Thank you.
No, not really. Did anybody read the email this morning? Actually, it was yesterday with the definitions. All right, so you're all here because of a trendy, stupid name that says Fat Burn Detox, all right? This is called Eating Healthy Basics 101 today, all right? There really is a program. We are showing you this stuff today. But the whole idea is, like, if I said, guys, what do you need to do to eat healthier? What would you tell me? Cut out fast food. Good. What else? Cut out sugar. Quit drinking. What? What are the other things? What else? Stay away from anything white, so flour and stuff like that. What else? If we were going to say I want to get healthier, what do I have to do? Portion control. More water. Eat more veggies. What else? Give me one more. Eat more protein. Guys, that's your 8 list right there. We can go home.
Okay.
Right? So that's your list. So everybody here who's watching, they have printed copies of this, but text that number right there, 727-810-4005. Text your email address. Ashley or I will send you over the program. This is free. There's no catches. There's no whatever. It's just, let's get some people healthy. So here's the whole thing. This is what we all should start, like in November, which some people did. But we need to start this before shit gets bad going into the new year, and then where budgets are tight all the way through January, and we get busy, we have all this other stuff coming. But what happens is, like, guys, we're Florida, and all of a sudden we hit like a heat stroke yesterday of whatever, 95 degrees. Everybody's like, oh, clothes are about to start getting smaller and tighter, a little brighter, and I better get some stuff under control, all right? So the whole idea what we're going to do today is we're going to teach you a program that we'll do for the next 14 days, but we're going to show you more than anything. 14 days is cool, and we can all wrap our heads around that, but what happens day 15 through the rest of 365 for the year? So that's what we really want to talk about, all right? So with your sheets there, they're out of order. I don't know why. The meal plan's out of order, but you have a cool packet in front of you, all right? When you go to that link that I just shared with you guys a minute ago, that link right there will have everything in order. It's got the cover page, it's got all that stuff. Again, if you need that at home, just text us your email address. So with this, guys, what we're going to do is we're not going to start with the packet. We're going to start right here. I love it. Look at that. So cool. I saw eyes. All right. So the way we're going to start this, and the whole thing I really want to stress to you is this, like, let's break down that definition again. So fat burn detox, all right? When we look at that, fat is the oily, slimy substance that's covering our organs and underneath our skin. We know what fat is, right? What did the definition of burn mean? To incinerate and change composure or composition, okay? So we're going to do that. And what did the word detox mean? Flush out, cleanse. Eliminate. That was basically it. Abstain and eliminate for a certain period of time. Okay? Detox is a noun, and it's also a verb. All right? We are going to detox our bodies, but we are going to detox ourselves. Okay? So the whole idea of what we're doing is there's a lot of ways that you can detox. Okay? There's detoxing from alcohol and drugs and all sorts of things. We are going to do something even harder probably today. Sorry for anybody. I don't want to discredit that if anybody's dealt with any substance abuse. But sugar is freaking awful. All right? Sugar is the devil. And sugar is one of the most addicting substances on the planet because you don't have to go out of your way to find it. You have to go buy a pack of smokes. You got to go meet with a drug dealer. You got to go buy your 6-pack. Sugar's in every freaking thing that we eat every single day. Okay? So we're talking about detox. We could be detoxing from a number of different things. A lot of programs I see when it says detox, the number one thing they want to cut out is what?
Carb.
What's the first 2 days, the inches and pinches, guys? What can't you have? No caffeine. Fuck that. This is my diet. All right? So we're following my diet today. My diet has caffeine in it. All right? So we are still going to have our morning coffees. We are still going to be living human beings, and we're still going to smile in the mornings. All right? We don't want to start your mornings off poorly. All right? So there's a lot of things that you can detox. You could cut out caffeine, you could cut out gluten, you could cut out carbs, there's so many things you can cut out and it still constitutes a detox, okay? What we're going to follow is 8 different ground rules. Your first 5 are as far as like what you can and can't do, and your next couple are as far as like suggestions and guidelines with this stuff, all right? So we're gonna start at the top with going through the 8 different things. Now, when we follow these for the next 2 weeks and we follow them appropriately, you should notice some different things. You should notice less bloating. You should notice more energy. You should notice just everything feels a little bit better and less pain in your joints. The whole idea is a lot of these things that we're going to eliminate cause inflammation in the body. Not just inflammation we think about bloat in the gut, but if it's happening here internally, where else is it happening in your body? Everywhere. Spirit fingers, all right? So everywhere. Pain and everything toxin-wise, it goes to our extremities. So it's going to your toes, it's going to your feet, it's going to your hands. Those are the first things that cramp and stiff. Then your ankles, then your wrists, then your elbows, then your knees. So those things all happen in the place of inflammation and in a state of inflammation. So what we're going to do, the very first thing, is we're just going to cut out starches, guys, for the next 2 weeks. So starches are your pasta, potato, bread, and rice. You can also throw crackers in there before anybody asks, can I have a cracker? Tortilla corn chips, we're going to fall into that, potato chips. You know, again, guys, if you have to ask the question, it's probably a no, all right? So we're talking about 2 weeks. The hand goes down real fast, right? What were you going to ask?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal, no. So we're going to take that off of there, okay? So none of your heavier and denser things. Now, is oatmeal unhealthy? No. Is sweet potato unhealthy? No. Is rice unhealthy? Is bread's awesome. But these things aren't unhealthy, guys. But what we're doing is we're just taking them out of the system for a 2-week period. All right. There's other things, like I said, that you can detox. We can take away dairy. We can take other stuff, but we're not doing that to this. We're just taking away your starches. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to be able to have your digestive, basically, system in a spot where you eat, break it down, next meal. Eat, break it down, next meal. All right. Has anybody ever made a bowl of oatmeal, left the spoon in there, somehow got distracted, you went around to the house, came back and tried to pull that spoon out? What is it?
Bloat.
Yeah, it's like a glue concrete brick of oatmeal, right? While that is great for us having long sustained energy, it's not going to be in and out of our system quick. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to optimize our digestive system for the next 2 weeks. Make sense so far? I didn't lose anybody? No carbs, all right. This is not no carb diet, guys, all right? This means none of those starchy carbs. We're going to get our carbs from fruit. We're going to get carbs from some of our different non-starchy vegetables, and there's going to be some other things. So it's not like we're counting carbs. We're just not intentionally consuming any of those 4 things. And I'll throw in crackers, and I'll throw in oatmeal, all right? The list is going to grow. All right, so the next thing is fruit 2 times a day. How many people avoid fruit because of weight loss that has sugar? Nobody? You're freaking lying to me. Everybody does. The first thing I always hear when I'm like, eat some fruit, people are like, oh, but it's got so much sugar. It's not a donut, guys. It's a piece of fruit. Like, it's different. Your body will recognize it different. So, with the ground rules, what we're doing with our fruit, and you guys are going to have the actual 8 filled out ground rules when you go to that download page that I sent you guys. So with that, you're actually going to see what the food options are. You're going to see the different things. But with fruit, you want to do 1 piece early in the morning, so before your biggest activity time. So if you're a 6 a.m. workout person, you can take it before then if you want, but really, you probably kind of hit like a downward energy spot around like 8:30. That's where I would throw that fruit in. The second time that you want to consume fruit, if you are a morning workout person, what you need to do is preemptively strike before you know you're going to hit that afternoon sleepy, tired time. All right? So if your time is 2 o'clock every single day, 1 o'clock you should be having that piece of fruit. Make sense so far? The whole idea with this, guys, you can consume any type of fruit that you want, but your apples, your pears, and your berries are going to have more sustainability in your body. They're going to last longer. A decent-sized, medium, or bigger apple is actually going to have as much fiber or more fiber than your bowl of oatmeal. Think about the digestive of it. One's going to break down very easily, one's not. When that apple sits on that counter and you get distracted and you walk away and you come back, what does that look like if there's a bite missing out of it? Brown. Why? It's oxidizing already. It's already happening. Okay? So that's what we're looking for. We're trying to create that furnace and that fire. Whatever you're eating is breaking down and burning. All right? Next thing, veggies, 1 time per meal. Okay? 1 time per meal. So basically what that means is like if you have in the morning, say you have eggs with it, try and throw some spinach, try and throw some sort of roughage, throw something in it that's going to give you just a little bit of sustainability and bulk. Okay? Now, are we going to have salads at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. for breakfast? No. So if you skip any time throughout the day, it's probably going to be meal 1, meal 2, because it's just weird to eat vegetables at like 10 a.m. in the morning. Agreed?
Put it in your shake.
Put it in your shake, but what are you going to have at that 10 o'clock in the morning anyway? You're probably going to have your food, okay? So maybe your veggies stay for your lunch, your afternoon snack, and your dinner time. But again, your goal is to really try and consume vegetables with every single meal. Do we need to explain why we need vegetables at every meal? No? What's the A word you used of what we're trying to, for detoxing? I'm going to catch you here. You said alkaline, right? I thought you said alkaline. So guys, what we're trying to do is create an alkaline state in our body. Okay? So your most acidic foods are going to be like tobacco, alcohol, meat, dairy. Those type of things are very, very acidic. When our body's acidic, disease can happen. There's different types of inflammation. When you're alkaline, which is going to come from most of your fruits and vegetables, that's actually going to have the reverse effect. So that's going to take away disease and not let disease live in the body. Okay? So it's a whole idea is you're trying to create basically like your janitors. Your vegetables, when you eat them, how you chew them is basically how they leave your body. If you're not quite sure and need a mental image, corn. Have you ever noticed that before? Lettuce probably too a couple times, and some spinach maybe, but guys, how you eat that, the whole idea is like that's your scrubbers. That's your janitors. They're going all the way down. They're cleaning small intestine, large intestine, dropping out the system, and you're clean, and that meal and that food from yesterday is gone. Okay? Yes?
So is corn not a veggie you can eat?
Okay, so that's a great question. Is corn not a veggie you can eat? I think corn is fine. Where corn we get into a problem is corn syrup, corn starch, modified corn, okay? If you're eating corn and you're pooping it out with like little rocket corn shots, I said corn shots. It's a child show. But are you absorbing those calories? Maybe, but I'm not going to say that's our issue here, okay? I'm not thinking anybody has an issue here because of eating too much corn. Now, if you are an addict of corn, scale it back a little. Okay? If you notice that you have maybe a food allergy or some sort of digestive issue, maybe watch. Maybe that's something you do take out. So that's not saying that it's a perfect plan to still have corn. Like, yeah, you can still have corn doing this. So your veggie choices, guys, you can either blend them and mix them, what Kim was saying, which is a great idea. We have, man, I can actually share that with you guys too. If you guys did not do the inches and pinches, we can share that smoothie manual with you guys. But there are so many different green smoothies in there that are really, really good. So that could be a source where you're actually liquefying them in the morning and then you're actually eating them as far as like getting hearty vegetables in the afternoon, okay? Now, what if I wanted to have, say, like broccoli and a salad with dinner? Is that okay? Yeah, eat more, like that's fine. So like your impact of like caloric level, of your blood sugar, of your glucose, of all that stuff with vegetables is very, very small. So that's like a free food. So don't get scared of vegetables. Like we're going to go ahead and eat those as much as you want. I'm sure you guys just got really excited when I said that, right?
Yeah.
I love vegetables.
Like, no, this sucks, man. So with the vegetables, though, guys, what you want to really think about is that's going to really create volume. It's going to keep you full. Next thing is protein. So protein is by far the hardest for most people to get in a diet. Protein and fat, kind of like healthy fats. What's that? You don't have a problem getting protein?
I don't either.
Cool. So let's go with this. Instead of me talking, what is like, where are your protein sources coming from in the day, Jeannie?
Chicken, steak, eggs. I eat eggs and turkey sausage or eggs and sausage
Every morning, right?
Every morning for
Yep.
breakfast. With yogurt.
Okay. Greek yogurt?
Greek yogurt.
Not kid yogurt?
Yeah, the plain Greek yogurt.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Which is good. I do chicken in the day. I do tuna, salmon.
So you're a carnivore.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. All right. So guys, when you look at these numbers, like if you've never followed a meal plan before, like 70 to 120 grams for ladies and 120 to 170 for guys might seem overwhelming. Don't get overwhelmed by it, okay? Your day one might be 50 grams. If it's an intentional effort to do better than you did yesterday, like you're moving in the right direction, okay? So like Blanca's detox might be different from Shirley's, which might be different from Sean's, okay? I can tell you their portion sizes are going to be different also. What you really want to think about though is as far as this, like if we're aiming for 70 grams, you're going to have about 6 to 7 grams per ounce. Okay? So that would mean you need about 10 ounces of meat in a day if you're a female. Okay? That's not that hard. 2 5-ounce pieces, you should be good. And that's if you're eating no other protein the whole rest of the day. If you have any Greek yogurt in the morning, if you have any eggs, if you have a protein shake, if you have an isogenics for our ladies back there, like if you're having something, there's protein else in that as well. Okay? Does that make sense? So don't get overwhelmed by that. When we show you the meal plan, those numbers are going to work out. You just have to eat what's on there.
Yeah, I just want to add, because I've always struggled with making my protein numbers, and so Derek
Talk
said
up.
to
Scream it. I've heard you scream.
scream. I
Yeah.
know, pain. No, I have always struggled with meeting my protein numbers, every challenge. And so Derek told me that if I do 2 shakes a day, the 2 scoops, that's 100 grams right there, boom. But being that this is only 120, I should be able to do it. So if I do the 1 shake, but when I used to have to be, like my one number I think was like 180 I was having to do on the one plan, and I could never meet it. Like I was always just, and that's, so the 2 shakes.
Was that because you were
Helps.
full and you didn't want to eat?
And I struggled, well, that was part of it, but I also struggled to like the portion size.
Yeah.
Because
So what can we do differently? So here's what I want to look at, guys. Like, so what you need to do, and I didn't want to cut you off, but I didn't want to get too much into sidebar and stuff. So when you're looking at it, guys, like you eat something already every day. Okay, if you're not sure how much you eat, what you need to start doing is just look at your portion size. Like, is it this big, like the size of your palm, and you think you need to eat more? Go a palm and a knuckle tomorrow. Like, we don't have to be scientific about this, all right? Now, if you want to weigh it, if you want to measure it, if you want to calculate it, go for it. Like, please, the more you measure, the more you can change and the more you can affect. Like, there is a power in measuring and actually weighing your food. But if you're brand new to this, like, just eat a little bit bigger portion of meat when you have your next portion, okay? Does that make sense? Like, I don't want us to overthink and get stuck on protein. Now, some of the different options, though, besides like some of the different things, like, and if you want to kind of pull out the key points from what Jeannie said too, is you have protein shakes, guys. If you've never drank a protein shake you like, find one. It is a huge asset. It is food already blended up into a shake that goes right into your system and starts working, okay? Food, you actually have to eat, it has to digest, and it has to process. So there's 2 good things about it, or good and bad. One is a protein shake, you're not going to heat up your metabolism as hot because your body didn't have to work as hard to burn it. But it's in your system right away. Food is going to heat up your metabolism more because your body had to work, but it's not available right away. Okay? So it doesn't make one right or wrong or anything like that, but there's just different sources of protein. So cottage cheese, you mentioned Greek yogurt, protein shakes. I'll come to you on that, yeah, and she'll clarify that, yeah, as far as fats. So what we talk about with proteins, anything that flew, walked, or swam during its life cycle, or if it was derived from one of those things. So basically if it had eyes, nose, breath, pulse, move. Yeah. So that's your proteins there. Now the next thing is going to be your fats. Again, the serving sizes are broken down in your manual, and you guys have that, and you're looking through that, so it'll clarify that. But your fats are going to be your nuts, seeds, animal fats, avocado, coconut, and those type of things are going to be your fats. We want to make sure we're trying to consume at least 3 servings a day of fat. Now, for anybody who's been here previously, when would be the best time to have those servings of fat?
Before you go to bed.
Snack during the day and?
Before you go to bed.
Done. Perfect. So guys, if you're looking at it this way, so if you have like meal 1, this is breakfast, let's say, this is your snack, this is your lunch, this might be another snack, and this is a meal. If you look on the meal plan, I actually only listed 4 times. Because a lot of times for people, they only eat 2 or 3 times a day. So if you're already eating 5, it doesn't mean you stop eating 5, you keep doing 5. If you've been eating 3, let's try and bump up to 4. If you've been eating 2, let's live a little. Let's eat, all right? Let's do a little more. So when you're going through on this, like your serving of fat would be in your morning snack. Your serving of fat would be in your mid-afternoon snack. And your last serving of fat would be in your dinner. Why at those 3 times? Sustainability keeps you full. Exactly. So what you want to think about fat is a bridge, okay? Your breakfast is an island, your lunch is an island, your dinner's an island. How do you get to Key West? You've got to take a long-ass bridge, and if there's somebody stuck, you're screwed. All right? So what you want to think about is your nuts. Oh, your nuts are going to be the people driving on the road. But your nuts are your bridge, okay? Your peanut butter is your bridge. Animal fat or avocados are going to be your bridge. Does that make sense? It keeps you full. So that's where you want to put those in your snacks, and you want to put that at the end of the day. Because what happens at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when you guys get bored? I'm asleep. You're either asleep if you're a good student, good grasshopper, or you're eating bad stuff. Like Leslie's watching right now, eating one of her Magnum chocolates.
Leslie.
Has anybody seen Leslie here this week? No. Yeah, I didn't think so. Leslie, we hate you.
No.
Right. So the next one we go, that's not true. We love Leslie. We just wish we
We
saw
want her
her.
to come back.
The next one, eat at home. Very simple, right? You know what you're cooking when you eat at home? Now, what happens if you can't eat at home?
make good choices.
You know, we used to be good and bad as kids. I hate this make good choices. Like, no, you were bad. Like, that's it. Like, I'm sorry. So you make good choices when you're out, right?
Yeah, sure we do.
There's grilled chicken anywhere you go. There's going to be vegetables everywhere you go. There's going to be all these different things you need. Now, is there also going to be bad things on the menus as well?
Yeah.
Okay, who gets to make the choice?
But I found out if you tell them or ask the servers to just grill your chicken or grill your fish instead of deep fry it.
They'll do it.
Make your salad, they'll do it.
Yeah.
They don't say no, but they want to keep you as a customer.
Exactly. Guys, do you know who's going to bend over backwards more than any other place and where you're going to find the best quality of food? Make wrong. Yeah. Where?
At your mom's house.
At my mom's house. Is that like a your mom joke? I don't even know. Guys, at a diner.
Yeah.
Any diner. Like, go to any diner. One, it's owned by a real person. Like, they have a person cooking it. It wasn't packaged and they're cutting it out of some solution wrap package or whatever. Like, they're actually cooking your food. So, like, if you go to a Pam's, if you go to a Hilltop Cafe, if you go to a breakfast station, if you go to any of these places, like, they'll cook you real food. Like, they put it on a grill. Like, they break lettuce off of an actual head of lettuce. It's not pre-bagged. You know, so, like, you do have options when you're out. So it's not to say that you should only eat at home. But when you're going out, you do have a choice. Just like any other time you eat, you just have to make the best choice of that. All right? Next one, number 7. This is the hardest one probably for me. This and desserts probably, but no fried. All right? So the whole idea with fried, we said fat does what? Stays with you. Slows kind of your digestion down, which is a good thing when it's healthy fats. But when it's lard and grease, what happens? It's still slowing you down, but it's not nutritious. All right? So here's what you got to think about with this. We always give the 2 examples, and if you've been here before, don't answer this one. But if you haven't been here before, I have a cup here of saturated fat, and I have a cup here of unsaturated fat. How do I know the difference?
One's clear.
What's what? One's clear, one's cloudy? No? Come on.
One's liquid and one's solid.
Martina, I love you! First night I meet her. I love it. And you're Jerry, right? That's awesome. You guys were lunging fools out there. Jerry's legs were going to fall off, and he wasn't going to stop. It was awesome. So exactly. Unsaturated fat is liquid at room temperature. Saturated fat is solid room temperature. Okay? What do they say fats do to the inside of our body?
Make them nice and smooth.
Yep. Well, either make them really smooth or make them really sludgy and sticky. Okay? So think about every time you cook bacon and there's that grease left over and it turns white and hardened, right? Is that going to do good for your insides?
The bacon
No.
is.
Think about olive oil and think about your Italian and Greek friends who just slather it all over their body and they look so good as well. Is that good or bad for you? It's great for you, okay? Coconut oil, same thing. God, you can use it for just about anything, and it's like every day to come out with new stuff you can use it for. So there's all sorts of good uses of fats. There's also really bad sources of fat. Fried food is not going to be where we get our consumption from. Now, if you want to join me on day 15 at Breakfast Station for crunchy French toast, I'm more than welcome, guys. But we're talking 14 days, all right? We can do it. Very last thing. The last one is honestly going to be the hardest for probably half the group here, okay? Sugar beverages, I'm not talking just soda. I'm talking about your morning coffee with sugar. So I didn't say you couldn't have your coffee.
Can we put honey in it?
What?
Honey?
Honey, hold on.
No, honey
What were
is
you saying?
sugar.
All right, we're going to talk. All right, so look at this, guys. Here's the whole idea we're trying to do. We're trying to create a quick digestion process of everything. We're also trying to have good sustained energy, okay? So sugar, when you take sugar in, your blood sugar goes up. Your body releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is to knock that blood sugar down to save your life. If it keeps going up and your blood sugar goes up, what happens? Stroke, convulsions, yeah, seizures. There's a whole bunch of different things. Heart attack, high blood pressure, stroke. So there's a number of different things. If your blood sugar goes too low, how do we feel? Pass out.
Tired.
Dizzy, tired, sluggish, irritable. Don't yawn on me. Very sweaty, clammy. Okay? So guys, we don't want to be here and we don't want to be here. We want to be as neutral as possible. So when you're starting your morning off with honey, when you're starting your morning off with sugar, when you're starting your morning off with coffee made and boop, 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 and you're turning your coffee like whatever, milky white, you're throwing in 30 grams of sugar or more. Kim, my answer to you is yes, you can use honey, but I want you to measure it. Like, you need to be cognizant of it.
I swear, wow, you know I have a honey addiction.
What if we keep it under 10 grams of sugar and you figure out what that calculation is? And I'm guessing it's going to be a teaspoon, not even a tablespoon.
Killing me. I have to have a
Yeah.
smaller cup then.
So when we talk about, so guys, I want to talk about a couple different things. So here's the way to combat that. If you cannot get rid of your morning coffee, I am the same way. Like, my wife will be like, give me a triple shot, no milk, no this, and she'll slam it back, maybe with some Splenda, whatever. I'm like, I want a mocha latte with the whatever, give me the froth. Like, that's me, okay? So when it comes to, like, my side of it, I'm the sissy, obviously, as we can tell. I'm the one with the candles in the house. She's like, let's go, let's use bleach. Yeah. There's definitely the polar opposites of it. But when it comes to the morning coffee, so what I started doing, I shared this with a couple other people before. So like your coffee mate, your liquid that you put in, it's 8 grams of sugar for the most part for every tablespoon. If you actually pay attention to how much you put in, you probably put in about 4 tablespoons. So you're starting with 32 grams of sugar right there. Almost a can of Coca-Cola. How many people do just 1 cup? So most people are doing anywhere from like 30 to 60 grams of sugar to start their day. So if you cannot get rid of the flavoring, if you cannot get rid of the sugar completely, here's what you're going to do. Coffee, and guys, is this a perfect solution? We're talking about detox. Like most detoxes would say, get rid of what I'm about to tell you. But you're going to go Coffee Mate, get the powdered versions. They have a mocha, which just makes me so happy. They have caramel macchiato. They have all your different flavors in the powder, but it's per teaspoon. 4 teaspoons is 7 grams of sugar, okay? Big difference. You'll end up putting about 1 or 2 of those teaspoons, maybe even 3, and get wild with 5 grams of sugar, and then the rest you'll lighten it with half and half, okay? Half and half, or even whole cream if you have to, okay? The whole idea is like, you're going to lighten your coffee, then we're going to flavor it. But most of us try and flavor it, but then it's still not light enough, and we keep adding more and more and more and more. Okay, does that make sense? So half and half, cut it with a little bit of Coffee Mate powder, and that will be the solution if you cannot rid it.
Can I
Okay?
ask you a question?
Yes.
What if you do pure protein?
Yeah, guys, if you do protein powder in your coffee, win. Like, you're done. Like,
Because they have the ones that are pre-made and you just screw them and swap in.
Yeah.
I
and it's
do what?
awesome with your coffee.
Does
Does that sugar? No, you're good. We can. So with that, does that make sense, though, guys? Now, what about if you just use like actual cocoa powder and you did that instead and tried that for a month? There's a lot of other things you can do, not for a month, for 2 weeks. So there's a lot of different things, guys, that you can do to try and cut that down. But again, look at your morning coffee as one of your biggest places where you're making a mistake. Now, the other spots where sugary beverages are, Gatorade, whether you believe it or not, is got more sugar than actually soda. When you get to like your cocktails and drinks and things like that, guys, that's going to be a big one. Now you will see on your 8-rule sheet, which you don't have in front of you, which you people at home don't either, but it does say, if you must, vodka and tequila are going to be your choices.
Yes.
2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. All right. Now,
And shots and martinis are better.
shots and martinis. Olives are healthy fats, and vodka is clear on this. So, guys, when we talk about this, when we talk about an actual detox, like this, guys, come on, chatter. All right. So when we get to this, the whole thing of like a detox, like, again, we're picking our poison here, right? Because I just said, oh my God, you might do a powder something that has like an artificial something. You might do vodka. You might do it. So there's all sorts of different ways. If we really wanted to make this list of every single toxin, how big would this list be? Huge, okay?
Cardboard by the end of the night.
You'd be eating cardboard and rice cakes probably. But no, rice doesn't even fit in this. We couldn't even do rice cakes. So when you look at this, guys, this is your 2-week plan. Okay? This is your 2-week plan. This isn't the rest of your life. This isn't anything else. Now, when you get past that day 15, the whole idea is like, man, Michelle's like, I can't go without another beer or I'm going to kill my husband. Chris, if you're something you're missing, then that's where you'll break a rule. Does that make sense? You're craving pasta on your Saturday night. You'll break a rule. Okay? So as you start phasing back into normal life, you can live as tight to this plan as you want for as long as you want. This is a healthy plan. It's balanced. It's got all the calories you need. It's got the fruit. It's fiber. It's got your protein. But some of you aren't going to be able to live that way for the rest of your life, and I understand that because I can. All right? So you start kind of changing one thing at a time. But say you're still noticing you're a little bloated at the end of 2 weeks. Maybe that's where you cut out dairy. Okay? But you let back in rice every single day. Okay? You ride that out for your 2 weeks. Then you're like, you know what? Maybe I'm one of those gluten people. And you cut out gluten. Okay? Cool. Maybe you add back in a 3rd piece of fruit for the day. Okay? You see how you're going to kind of take this, and after day 15, you're going to start to customize and make it your own. All right? If your thing, you don't ever have caloric beverages, why does that need to be number 8 for you? It doesn't. add something else, okay? But we're starting with a framework. We're starting with a guideline, all right? Even with this, even though not all 8 are going to apply to everybody, it's still going to be tough, okay? Because it's not normal. It's not your normal day-to-day diet. It's not your normal day-to-day foods. So how do we get through this next 14 days so that it's not feeling like it's a diet, so it's not feeling like a struggle? Here's a couple different things. One,
We could have vodka, so.
you can have vodka, so that's good. Guys, you,
Go with that.
you just be trash. That's it. Great detox, right? Oh. All right. So, if you get hungry, volume food, okay? Volume food. So that would be like your fats. It would be your vegetables. It would be just lettuce, guys. Like, people are like, oh, vegetable has no nutritional value. You know what? But if you eat a lot of it, you're not hungry anymore, okay? And if you add some water to it, you really aren't hungry anymore. So, Rolla, when you get stuck every year and you stop losing, what do we do to you? What's your dinner at night?
Green beans.
Cucumbers.
He puts a bowl on a scale.
The 5-pound salad.
The 5-pound salad, the infamous 5-pound salad. So they'll take a scale out, put a bowl on, zero it out, add your chicken, and then you just start adding vegetables till it hits 5 pounds. It might take 2 hours to eat it. It might take the rest of the night. Yeah. And so, guys, I'm not asking you to do that. But what I'm saying is, are you hungry afterwards? No. Is it crunchy? Yes. Does it give you food? It gives you substance. Kim, you're talking so much today. That's all we're going to hear is you. All right. So, but that's what I'm saying, though, guys. It's like you really got to look at it in a sense. It's like, you know, it might not be your favorite thing to do, but again, we're doing this for a 2-week purpose. So that's where you're going to create volume and fluff inside there. Instead of doing fat, we're going to do it with salad. Okay? So the whole idea of the next thing, eat foods you like. Who doesn't like fish? Cool, don't eat it. Who doesn't like eggs? Cool, don't eat it. Who doesn't like pork? Cool, don't eat it. Eat what you freaking like, okay? If you're like, I don't do radishes, I don't even know if radish is on that list. I think it is. Don't eat it, okay? We're not telling you to eat anything. I'm telling you what not to eat, okay? So eat foods that you like. Like if you like a steak for dinner 3-4 nights a week, whatever, you better still have it, because if not, you're going to hate the rest of everything else we're doing. Does that make sense? We got to live, guys, okay? So it's got to be something where we're going to try and take our normal lives. We're going to make a few small different ground rules and guidelines, but we're not going to overhaul everything. All right? So if you're somebody that eats, I eat chicken thighs, oh my God, it says chicken breast on here. Eat the thighs. But maybe next week, maybe try and do a chicken breast. But guys, if that's going to be your make or break, don't throw away the whole program because there's one thing that you want to do differently. Okay? Eat foods that you like, because when you do that, you're going to stick past 15 days all the way to 365 days. I can't read what that says.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, okay. I didn't want to say it. You had to say it.
Oh, I have no problem.
So, some people, when they get to the Inches and Pinches Challenge, the January one that we do, they look at it and they're like, there's so many recipes in here, it's so complex. Kim takes it and she's, I love this.
I do.
Every page is printed, dog ear, like highlighted, whatever. And there's a group of people that are like that have binders of every single meal plan that we've done all the way along, okay? If you are a recipe person, find recipes that you like. If you're not, grilled chicken, put salad that's pre-made in a bag into a bowl and eat, guys. Like, you don't have to get fancy with this, all right? Eat as fancy as you want or eat as basic as you want. But your whole idea is, like, you need to fall in line with what you do, okay? Now, we've talked about salads, we talked about not getting fancy, we talked about some different things. One thing we didn't mention is, what do you put on your salad?
No bottled salad dressing.
No bottled salad? That's actually a great rule. No bottled salad dressing. What were you saying?
Make your own.
Vinegar and oil, make your own, yeah. So here's what I like to do, is I like to make a big jar in advance, and we've talked about this in some of the other different nutrition seminars, but if anybody wants to actually like kind of take notes on this, this is going to be your ratios and portions. But basically like 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 1 tablespoon of whatever your favorite vinegar, but like balsamic is obviously really good and flavorful. Then, depending on your taste of different things, 1/2 tablespoon of Worcestershire, 1/2 tablespoon of soy. You can even do like 1/2 tablespoon of any type of like mustard that you like, whether it's yellow mustard, Dijon mustard. What's that? Dijon mustard, all that stuff. You can put sesame seeds in it. You can put the black sesame seeds in it. You can put sliced almonds in it. Anything that you put in there is going to start absorbing and grabbing that flavor out. Now, if you're putting something like seeds and almonds and things like that and it doesn't have preservatives, you're going to have to use it within a day or two because it's going to get soggy and kind of gross. But you can always strain it and just use the actual flavor of it and not actually the soggy almonds that are in the bottom of it. Does that make sense? Cool, I just want to make sure we were clear on that. So you can make your own and do it that way. If you need to buy a store-bought one, we will make one exception. If you go into the produce section, it's called Bolthouse, okay? Bolthouse dressing is going to be made with a Greek yogurt. Again, everything has some sort of sugar and preservatives, but it's going to have your least amount. The one thing about Bolthouse is there's no extra additional preservatives. That's why it needs to be refrigerated. So it's going to be where you actually buy your produce, not in the aisle with the rest of the store, okay? The other thing is if you want to get really excited and you want to buy all these different dressings, it is real food, so it's going to expire in like 3-4 weeks, so you're not going to use it that fast. So buy one bottle, maybe 2 at a time, but you're going to buy all these, not realize that it's actually real food and it's going to expire, and then they're all going to go bad in a couple of weeks. So buy 1 or 2 at a time, but they're great. What's something else that we can put on salad, though, if we don't like any of those things I just named?
Lemon.
Lemon, yep. Oh, yeah, and lemon in there, too. Yeah, I'm so sorry, but what else can we put on it? Salsa, boom. What else? Who likes avocados?
Oh, yeah, mashed avocado.
Mash that stuff in with your salsa. What else can we put on it? I don't know if there's another answer. I'm just asking what else. You guys are teaching it. What is it? Pickle juice. I love it. Cool, guys. What about if you actually... I don't know.
I don't like dressing.
I have no idea. Cool. What if you actually like cut up all your stuff inside the actual bowl and use some of those actual like juices that were from your different things, and yeah, you just added lemon and balsamic and maybe just a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay.
Mrs. Dash makes some really good
Mrs.
stuff,
Dash.
too.
Guys, one thing that you don't see on here is a no. You don't see salt and peppers off the list, okay? If you're using it moderately, if you're using it okay, like there's no issue with that. If you're just sitting there and grinding salt on everything and you're not drinking water and you're not sweating every single day, that's where you're gonna get hypertension, that's where you're gonna bloat, that's where you're gonna have some issues. But if you're moving, sweating, drinking water, and adding salt, it's actually a healthy thing, especially living in Florida. It's going to stop you from cramping.
Like
Sauce, I don't know that word. Sauce?
like you do spaghetti squash.
Sauce. I'm cool with that. So guys, you're talking about sauces and stuff. So if you did like a spaghetti squash, perfect. So with that, you can go salsa. If you want to go like a marinara, Kim, you're killing me tonight. I'm just talking. If you want to go with the marinara, if you want to go with the salsa, that's cool. What you're looking for though too is what's going to be your most natural, what's going to have the least amount of preservatives. So if you can find one there that is going to quick expiration, either in like the, would that be the deli, I guess? Where would they sell anything like that? I don't know. Make your own stuff. I mean, really, that's probably the best way to go. But again, you're just looking for what's going to be the best option, all right? You can look at something and it should be clear, guys. When you have two things in front of you, it's like Lucky Charms or, you know, bran flakes. Like, you're going to do the bran flake. That's obviously healthy, right? But there's so many things in our day-to-day choice. Like, if you just started for the next 2 weeks, you made the healthier of two choices every time, you're going to be leaner, you're going to be less bloated, you're going to have more energy, okay? So that's the one big thing with that. Very last thing, don't get to that point that you don't know what you're doing, all right? Tonight, what am I having tomorrow to eat? Do I have it in my fridge? You can have all these great expectations, but if you don't have it bought or cooked, it doesn't matter, okay? So that's where you might need to know, what diner can I stop at? Healthy Choice, what's the place you go to next to your work? Fit Life Foods. If there's a Fit Life Food, you can pop in there and go get one of those. But you have to know what your different options are. Like, every day is not going to be perfect, all right? So if you start planning the night before, it makes it so much easier to prevent the mistakes. There's so many times, like if you don't look at your schedule, you know you have an appointment at 10 a.m. or you didn't know you had this, and it's stopping you from doing what you would normally go and snack at that time, or it's stopping you from going to eat your lunch at a normal time. Like, you need to have foods ready that's convenient, that you can actually either eat that doesn't need refrigeration, or that as you're driving you can pick it out of a Tupperware, or whatever your unique circumstance is. But it's not always going to line up perfect. So look at your schedule and plan ahead. Now, it might sound crazy. Does anybody work on the road, like drive? Like, yeah. So with me, I was like, my passenger, my shotgun rider was my lunch cooler. But every single piece of chicken, every single piece of potato, everything was cut up. I mean, I used scissors, I cut everything up. I pick, eat. I never ate with a fork and knife for probably 5 years. So it ends up being a situation that it's like, it's awesome. It's very barbaric, right? Especially for an OCD guy. Like, it's something I don't have an issue with.
That's why he's there.
Yeah. So the whole idea is, like, you need to make it convenient for you. Some of our nurses who work in the hospital, we've talked about, like, actually just taking like your one bar and cut it right down the center, cut it into multiple pieces and put it in a plastic bag and keep it in your pocket. Reach in, one little piece. Is it gum or is it a bar? They don't know. You know, if you're making your protein shake, put it in an actual bottle that they can't see what it is. Is it water? No one's going to yell at you for drinking water. Maybe it's a protein shake instead. Okay? So you want to start looking at your schedule, think ahead, and know what you're doing. That's such a huge component of this. All right? Now, very last thing I'll get, now we can take our papers that you guys have. All right. This is, like I said, in complete reverse order. So flip to the second page, not the first page. What? Again, guys, if you want a copy of this, text my cell phone there, 810-4005. Just text me your email address, and I'll send you the link over tonight or tomorrow morning. All right, so guys, you'll see that 5-day-a-week plan, right? Should say 5 days a week, page 2. We're cool. I see 3 out of 30 heads nodding. Yes?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so with that, guys, that is the 14-day Fat Burn Detox plan. The one that says 5 days a week, that's actually 14 straight days, okay? If you are wanting to kind of just do like the toe in the water, and just see how it feels there, what's the temperature? That's going to be your plan to follow, and that will be for 14 straight days, okay? That first page there where you see it says do 2 days, that's actually a personalized plan I wrote for Christina Walsh. That's like an acceleration type thing. We have some ladies here who do isogenics who do like fasting where it's like 24, 36, 48-hour fasts, okay? We've done them here as a group 2 years ago. We did them last year as a group for intermittent fasting. This is going to be like a subtle version of taking in like less calories than you did the day before, okay? So with this version here, this is like the accelerated plan. So that first page there where it says do 2 days, you would do them 2 days on week 1, 2 days on week 2, okay? If you look at the actual menu, it is very low in protein, it's very low in fat, but it has your fruits and vegetables, okay? So it's almost like a vegetarian day for 2 days out of the week, this week, well, next week, and the next week, okay? Now, what happens if you do one of those days, it's next Monday, and you're like, this is awful, this is dumb. Do you quit the program completely, or do you go back to the other part of it? You say that now. There will be people, oh, that didn't work for me, like that. Guys, the only thing that works for you is what you work for, okay? So the whole idea is like food is one of the hardest things that there is. Shirley has cardio as cardio. Cardio is the second hardest thing. Food is the hardest thing, okay? You eat every single day of your life. You don't exercise every day. You don't always do squats. You don't always whatever, but you have to eat every single day. So the closer that you can get to this, the closer that you can follow the oh shit rules here of how to like actually make it through the week and get through everything, the closer you can get to all that, the better results you're going to have. The more struggles that you had to make also does not equal how well you're going to do, all right? If you're like, I didn't eat any of this, I didn't eat any of this, I only lost 2 pounds, all right? Cool. 2 pounds in 2 weeks, so it'd still be 52 over the year if you actually lost at that rate. But I get what you're saying, right? So that's what I'm saying. Don't change everything. Don't go radically crazy. Implement as much as you're willing to sacrifice, okay? If you want to suffer a little bit for the next 2 weeks to get it rolling, that's cool, but you can't do that and then on day 15 be like, oh, this is my cheat meal day, okay? There's no point to that. If you can continue in moderation so when day 15 happens, you just keep living your life and maybe you break one of the rules, that would be the goal. It shouldn't be so hard over the next 14 days that you're looking forward to day 15 and just blow everything you just did, all right? Perfect. Who did Little Black Dress? Who's done any like the, I guess just you, huh? Oh, 2, perfect, cool. Peak week, you'd lose what, 4, 5, 6 pounds or whatever, and then what would everybody do? They go to Olive Garden, and the next morning what happens?
So horrible.
That 4, 5, 6 pounds is right back home, okay?
So easy.
You cannot trick your system, guys. We are getting healthier here. This isn't a not eating plan, this isn't whatever. I want you to eat tons and tons and tons of food, healthy foods that we put up on here, okay? So you'll see your food swap list. Swap any protein for protein. Swap any carb for carb. So any of those starchy or non-starchy vegetables with the others. Any of the fats, you can swap those out. Otherwise, guys, anybody here who is a client, like if you are a part of LiveFit, post all your questions on the actual support page. That way everybody benefits just like we do with everything else, but from everybody else's input and contribution. If you are not a current client here, text me at that same exact number and we'll give you all the different food options, we'll help answer questions, but you're going to get stuck if you put this into place, all right? If I talk to you next Wednesday and you're like, yeah, everything's fine, you're not doing it, okay? Like, you can't change stuff in your life and be like, oh yeah, I got this figured out. Like, you should struggle a little bit. There should be a little bit of a challenge because you're trying to figure this stuff out as you go, okay? So don't think you just got it. Don't assume that everything's perfect, but this is what you're going to have. It's like your guidelines. Perfect example, in bowling, we're going to be your bumper rails right through there, okay? You might pop one of the rails at some point in those 14 days, but we're going to try and stay within the lines as much as we can with all that stuff. All right? Any questions we can think of after going through all that stuff? Ada was the only person to ask questions. Yes?
I drink Red Bull every day.
Can you drink Red Bull or do you drink
I
Red
do.
Bull? Yeah, so I didn't say no caffeine, so I'm okay with that, but not the sugar
Then
version.
they have the sugar-free and then the dark-gray ones with 0.
Yeah, cool. He asked if he can still bang. So I was like,
All right then.
yeah. We can still bang. So, yeah, caffeine, guys, if that's a part of your life, here's the one thing I will say about that, and this is why I don't like a lot of the detox programs. When you take away caffeine as the very first thing you do, and then you're supposed to eat different foods, you're moody, you're emotional. Like, you didn't start your day on your normal habits and routines, so don't change that stuff. Try and keep that as consistent as you can. Change the rest of your day and then what goes into your mouth. Yes?
No sugar substitutes. So explain that.
Okay, so I am not somebody who says no sugar substitutes, okay? Now, the less you use of that during the next 2 weeks, the better you're going to do. But like I can tell you, my wife is not going to cut out Splenda in her coffee. It's going to happen, okay? Same thing with some other people in here. So if it comes down to this, and this is what I'll say, and there's research to whatever you want anything to look like. I mean, people can make research look like anything. Here's one thing I'll say. Diabetes is the only thing they haven't figured out, okay? Splenda and all those other things in mice who have a liver this big, it's out of their entire system in 5 days of not having it. I would rather have that and Splenda and an artificial sweetener than diabetes for the rest of my life.
Splenda
That's
doesn't raise your blood sugar.
Yeah, but say there's just as much research that Splenda does raise your blood sugar. There's research that stevia raises your blood sugar, which that's just a natural plant, but it still creates an insulin response. So you are still going to have an insulin response with Splenda, believe it or not, even though there's no sugar.
But if you put it in yourself and you only use 1 pack compared to the 16 packs that they put into the diet iced tea,
You win. You win. Guys, anything that tastes sweet on your tongue, your body's releasing insulin. So keep that in mind. I mean, it is anything sweet, it is going to have that effect. But that's why also when you have a strawberry and it has fiber and vitamins and everything else, it is going to create a good, healthy environment where when you're putting either sugar or Splenda, it's going to create emptiness. So it's looking for something to fill the void. Okay? So there's nothing wrong with it for the next 2 weeks. But again, maybe try and go on. If you do 2 teaspoons, do 1. Or if you do 2 tablespoons, do 1. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not against it at all.
It's just the only way I can take coffee.
My body craves gluten and
For now.
Splenda. That's what it's all about. No. Guys, it's so awesome. People will say, and the one I hate, and people probably heard me bitch about this over and over again, well, Splenda makes me crave sugar. No, you know what makes me crave sugar? Every Monday after I've had a cheat meal on Sunday night, I wake up and I want to eat the freaking house. I drink Splenda the rest of the week. I don't care about any type of sugar. Then Sunday night comes around, I have brownies or whatever it is, and Monday morning I want to eat the house again. Sugar makes you crave sugar, guys. So if you're having an issue with sugar, that is a perfect substitute. Consider that like your gateway detox. Sugar, Splenda, off. Okay, go and do that. Yep. Guys, the coffee thing will change your life, honestly. Switch to half and half. It'll make such a big difference. Once you get to that, if you want to switch to like whole cream and no sugar at all, you'll realize it's actually really sweet with the whole cream in there. Anything else, guys?
With the fats,
Yes.
do you use like MCT oil?
Yeah, so like, here's the one thing, Sean brought up a good point as far as like fats can use MCT oil. So the whole idea, what you want to think about is for the next 2 weeks, guys, Shirley, give me a second. And for the next 2 weeks, guys, Betsy, same thing. For the next 2 weeks, sorry, I hear just chirps, it's so hard. But he was asking as far as like using like MCT oils in place of fats. Guys, if you're going to be eating less carbs and less things than you're used to that keeps you full, I wouldn't do an oil. I would eat the food, okay? So the more that you can actually eat the nutrition, it's going to keep you full. Same thing with like blending up the vegetables. I would eat them over blending them just so that you're getting that crunch in the taste. But if you're somebody that's addicted to food, which guys, every single one of you are, whether you believe it or not, like you're going to want that crunch, you're going to want the hand and mouth, you're going to want all those different things where maybe just oil or a supplement or a capsule might not do it. So try it. But if you're hungry, I would swap it for a tablespoon of peanut butter at least for the next 2 weeks, and then maybe you can start implementing both. You know, going through that way. Cool. Guys, great. Every question that somebody's asked has been a killer question. Somebody's holding on to one that's not asking right now. What is it? Somebody. How much tequila? We're going to turn the camera.
That's my kind of question.
So here's Karen. She's new with us today. She came from Lori. Ah! All right, so how much tequila? What do we think, guys?
1 shot at a time.
I'll go with that.
5 a day or
I'll go with
what?
that. Guys, we're not on an alcohol detox, so again, moderation. Here's where I'll put it. If your drinking causes you to either not drink enough water the next day or it stops you from eating appropriately, less than that. But if you can maintain whatever, then go for it. Again, there's all sorts of different detoxes. Maybe that's something where that becomes number 8 then the following 14 days or whatever that is. But that's an awesome question. That was beautiful. I think we'll end on the tequila. No, Laura, you can't ask a better question than that. See you, Sam. Very nice meeting you. Uh-huh. Yep. That's perfect. Yeah, guys, your amino acid drinks, believe it or not, like they're a great mixer. You can throw some vodka into those and they don't taste
Just
bad.
ask Leslie.
Yeah, that's what she was
If she
just
was
saying.
here,
Yeah.
she could answer that.
The one eating the Magnum chocolate
Yes.
ice cream right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin.
Just with
With
Kevin.
Kevin.
He's so cute. She's so cute. Yeah, exactly. I want to say he. I have a brother, Kevin. Cool. Guys, if you want the program, text your email address to that number right there. I'll leave it up for a few more seconds. Peace. Guys, that was awesome. Great questions. Ended it perfectly.